A very warm welcome to you. Many thanks for joining us on this edition of the program. As you know, we are your source for all the latest happenings in the world of business. My name is Margaret Mary Usiubo. On this edition of the program, we bring you two very important events that took place recently in the Nigerian insurance industry. First, we bring you excerpts of the maiden press briefing of Mr. Shola Tinubu, the 19th President and Chairman of Council of the Nigerian Council of Registered Insurance Brokers, NCRIB, where he unveiled a 10-year agenda plan for the Council. This
administration will forge more progressive relationships with other stakeholders in the industry, namely the NIA, the CIIN, ELAN, and any other body that we think we should be cooperating with for the interest of our members.
On this edition also, we'll bring you highlights of the public presentation of the book, Pensions in Nigeria, written by Mr. EZEKIEL CHIEJINA, a lawyer and an insurance icon. As expected, the insurance industry turned out in their numbers to support a noble cause. Plus, of course, our quick fact segments and all the other extras we bring you each week on this program. So sit tight, relax, and enjoy it. Details in just a moment. Please stay with us.
You won't go! I swear to God, you won't go today! Wow, faster! This papa is coming to our car! Don't beg us! Master, don't drink! Don't beg my car! You must buy today! Don't beg us!
If you had insurance, you will be begging me.
Master, don't let him go! You must buy today!
This media interaction, coming barely 2 weeks after my investiture, was to further entrench the importance of your profession in achieving our goals and aspirations as encapsulated in my thrust of office. It may interest you that prior to the investiture ceremony, my team and I had worked assiduously to arrive at one but octopus sustainable agenda that will ensure that the insurance broking profession stands at par with its counterparts anywhere in the world. Definitely, this is an agenda that is intended to outlive this tenure. And that is why both the Deputy and the Vice President of the Council have been deliberately made a part of its conception and subsequently are now part of its implementation. Essentially, our agenda and vision is to project NCRIB as a strong institution that will be propelled by professionalism, as a body that has international affiliations with organizations like the British Insurance Brokers Association, BIBA. We are under obligation to benchmark our operations and growth pattern with such global institutions. Among other things, we will ensure that the position of the President remains a ceremonial and non-executive position, just like you have a non-executive chairman of a board in corporate institutions, in consonance with the fundamental principles of corporate governance. The implication of this is that we shall empower the Secretariat to discharge its responsibilities as it is expected. We are all aware that non-executive positions in our council change from time to time, maybe year to year, or sometimes every 2-year cycles, leaving the Secretariat permanent and to ensure genuine institutional building and continuity. The Secretariat must be adequately empowered to drive the process at all times. Being the first meeting with you gentlemen and ladies of the media, I think it is an opportune time for me to reiterate my trust of office for effective reporting and also for the records. Institution building. We will look holistically into the structure within the purview of our law with the aim of building an enduring framework for the council. I am looking towards a council that will be able to relate with other regulatory bodies on behalf of the brokers without interference. For instance, it should be the responsibility of the council to relate with all the other bodies in a way whereby the president or other players in the industry, as you are aware, I am also a CEO of a member company, and they should be able to, the secretary should be able to relate with you and other members of the public independently. Seamless succession plan. Like I earlier mentioned, we are looking to agree a 10-year strategic agenda for the council. This was already done in agreement with my next two successors. That is the Deputy President and the Vice President. This is to ensure that we bequeath a well-entrenched institution to upcoming generations. Streamlining the office of the President to those ceremonial roles that I referred to earlier. I'm looking at the institution of where the President has that ceremonial role and a non-executive overview of the council, giving the executive secretary, who is the chief executive officer, and his team a level of empowerment that is obtainable in other professions and other climes. The Secretariat is the regulatory body for the brokers, and the President is a broker. And therefore, the Secretariat will continue to even regulate even this President in his activities as a broker in the market. Value addition to members. The Council will also continually invent ingenious programs and explore opportunities for our members to enhance their interest and commitment to the NCRIB as their professional body. We will partner with initiatives to open up retailing business, which will increase insurance penetration and value to our members. Prudence and cost reduction, as well as acceleration of revenue resources for the Council. Bearing in mind the challenging economic climes that we operate today, the Council will see to it that all avenues to generate more revenue are deployed. We shall explore all our latent potentials and see to it that they become cash cows for us. Bearing in mind that our council does not enjoy any form of subvention or statutory financial support from any quarter. Enforcement of ethical standards. This will also occupy the mind of this administration. We can never talk enough about the need to entrench discipline and ethics, as it is the hallmark of the profession. We shall strengthen the disciplinary and investigation committees of the Council to be able to meet the daunting task of entrenching sound discipline and ethics amongst our members. Because it is only when we take such seriously that the public will also take us seriously.
I was excited when you made mention of 10-year plan. Please, may we know the key components of the plan?
I'm sure you're aware that in the past 1 or 2 years, the regulators' searchlight is more focused on brokers, their behaviors, and even their way of doing business. In fact, recently, NICOM said that it will descend on brokers that have only 2 clients as their lifeline business. So we must have an array of clients for him to be convinced that that you are in business. I don't know, sir, what your plans are, or whether it's part of this 10 points agenda to make sure that you pacify the regulator to follow you gently so that everybody will not be finished under a day. And again, sir, the issue of group life business, I heard from grapevine that while we are blaming the government for having not released your money for some maybe 2-3 years, that your colleagues are feasting on it. It's a kind of agreement that just hold it. When the year elapses, we bring it up and share it. That's what I have from group. I don't know. I stand to be corrected. Can you clarify or sir?
It is a problem. Everywhere else in the world, we shouldn't even be talking about a single policy of a government in terms of insurance policy, because really nobody ever hears about the insurance of group life for civil servants in UK but the reason ours is that ours is very politicized. Ours obviously has a lot of efficiency, one of which you've mentioned, and ours is such a large policy compared to the entire market production that obviously you must give it the kind of attention that you are giving it. You said that the problem that you have over time has been premium payment. These even came long before no premium, no cover. And I must say that when no premium, no cover came, there seemed to be a slight adjustment. And besides seeing some progress, but there may have been some regression. But I would ask my colleagues here to give a more precise position, because you were asking whether the 2016 had been paid or not paid. I don't know whether my colleagues will want to shoot at that.
Early this year, about 42% of the premium due was paid. And about 60 days ago, another 20% was paid. So to date, about 62% of the premium of the has been paid. And then the policy was supposed to have expired in August. If you remember that the policy was instituted in August last year, but premium did not come until December. So, but underwriters, due to the no premium, no cover directive, are insisting that the policy started in December last year. So, legally speaking and effectively, the policy is still enforced, but about 40% of the premium is yet unpaid, and the policy, of course, will expire in December this year.
Having insurance is like having an army or police force. Having these shows you are ready for your enemies should they decide to attack. The enemies may never attack, but you must always have your defenses ready and prepared.
Alright, welcome back. Many thanks for still staying with us. Moving on now, we bring you highlights of the book launch of Pensions in Nigeria, a book written by Mr. EZEKIEL CHIEJINA. Mr. CHIEJINA served as the Director General of the Nigerian Insurance Association (NIA) for 6 years and went on to lecture at the West African Insurance Institute in the Gambia for 13 years, where he taught life and health insurance, pensions, and business law. The book launch was a roll call for who is who in the insurance community. Enjoy it.
Public servants prior to the Pension Reform Act of 2004 bore no direct responsibility by way of payroll tax for the provision of pensions. Instead, pension benefits were paid through budgetary allocations that was kept in the Consolidated Revenue Fund. This defined benefit scheme came with enormous challenges which are still prevalent under the Contributory Pension Scheme, CPS. Given the long and difficult history of pensions in Nigeria, Mr. EZEKIEL CHIEJINA, a lawyer and an insurance icon, recently presented his book, Pensions in Nigeria, at a well-attended event at the Nigerian Institute of International Affairs in Kofo, Abayomi. Chairman was Mr. Suleiman Olarewaju, who stood in for Alhaji Mohammed K. Ahmed, OON. Also in attendance were Professor Pat Utomi, Dr. Abimbola Ogunkelu, who stood in for Alhaji Atiku Abubakar, GCON, and a host of others. The book reviewer was Mr. Pascal Egere, Managing Director and Chief Executive Officer of Enterprise Trust Insurance Brokers Limited. In his welcome address, the chairman of the occasion, Mr. Olarewaju, said that though many people are involved in the contributory pension scheme, but very few have in-depth knowledge of how it works.
It's not easy to write a book, not to talk about pensions. All of us are involved with pension, either as contributors or as managers. But most of us really don't know many things about pension. We simply know that our salaries are deducted every day, every month. Then our employers will add some of it, and they take it to PF, send it to PFA. PFA keeps it with the custodian. Thereafter, what happens? We don't know. Then when we retire, the PFA will ask us, come and take, fill a form to come and claim your money. How they compute it, we do not know. Then they will give you option, whether you want to do annuity. What does annuity mean? Nobody tells you. Say, okay, you collect salary till a pension for 18 years. After 18 years, what happens? And I usually give my late father-in-law as example. He retired in NEPA in 1975 and lived up to last year before dying. So, if you tell me my contribution will carry me for 18 years, then where do I go from there if I live to be 110? So I begin to look at my children to come and bail me out.
In his brief remarks, the book reviewer, Mr. Egere, said that the book Pensions in Nigeria will bring a breath of fresh air to pensions discourse among scholars.
When the advert for their Volkswagen Santana product had a message which is apt here, there is nothing more to add. However, as much as I have this temptation to say that there is nothing more to add, I am driven to say something by the fact that in intellectual and professionally oriented discussion, assertiveness and magisterial proclamation of authors would, if anything, put colleagues on inquiry and on a voyage of discovery of the veracity of the author's assertions. In some instances, such bold, almost canonical statements have often created rebellion, counter-logic, an avalanche of contending issues which may either confirm or rebuke the position of the author. This in itself is not bad. So if I end up doing that, forgive me. So it is a creative process which enriches the society by encouraging more research and prodigious interventions. We are challenged, therefore, to look more into this book with a hope that we would corroborate rather than reject its essence. The book is a 394-page book. It is written in excellent prose and sequential logic that leaves no person in doubt as to the fresh breath it has brought to the pension discourse in Nigeria. The editorial work is excellent, even though a few typos exist. The printing, binding, and production is unrivaled. The hard copy is a treasure to hold, while the soft copy has an alluring design which compels even a lazy reader to adopt the book as a worthy companion. The book on its dedication page reminds us of the ever-presence of God in our lives and the very important role which spouses and families of professionals play and must continue to play in stabilizing the professional's mind for critical and productive output such as this book. I therefore join the author in thanking God for sparing his life to write this book. I also commend his wife and entire family for the patience and resilience that bore this beautiful fruit.
On hand to present the book was Professor Pat Utomi.
In the hope and belief that these books will go far, go round, and get read, I am proud and privileged to unveil this stand of books that the reviewer said had both the delectable, eatable, and the readable parts. To the glory of God, for the reading of all.
With the book presented and goodwill messages taken, the book launch started as individuals and insurance companies picked various copies of the book at different prices. Mr. EZEKIEL CHIEJINA, the author of the book Pensions in Nigeria, is a lawyer and a tested insurance professional with over 34 years in pensions and life insurance. The book, which answers many begging questions on the success and sustainability of the contributory pension scheme, also deals with the supervisory role of PENCOM, statutory audits, responsibility for the safety of pension fund and assets, ethics and corporate governance, as well as social security.
And that is our show this week. Many thanks for being a part of it. You can join us again next week for another fresh package, but in the meantime, feel free as always to connect with us on all our social media platforms. You can also visit our website at www.almondfinancereports.com. This program also airs on BCOS Television Ibadan every Thursday at 6 p.m. for those in Ibadan and its environs. My name is Margaret Mary Osiobo. Once again from the entire crew, thank you for watching. Enjoy this funny commercial as a parting shot this week. Bye-bye.
Lư thương tiểu khổ. Lư thương tiểu khổ. ว่าถอยเลยแม่งเมืองเหล่าสิว่าเลือดจำอย่าปากว่าเลือดจะเห่าแซ่เลือดเทวอ่ะว่าถอยเลือดเลือดแม่งเกี่ยวว่าละมวยอ๋อนะอังโม่เลือดบ่อยจุดแม่ขอเที่ยวโม่ไปก่อนพ่อนะว่าจ่อเซ็งแซ่ซาจับหัวมีไก่วงห้วยเลือดเทว